third of the pitch, two players that were at their finest in the final third of the pitch. Good qualifications to ask about it. They didn't play with a natural striker the other night. There was a chance for young Harvey Blair, Lewis Koumas, another Welshman who got the opportunity to play there. Amongst that really young group, there'll be this eagerness now to almost persuade the manager to play with a number 9 against Arsenal.
Yeah, we did miss a number 9 in the last game as well, but it's a chance for these to do what they do. But the manager will look at what's happening in training. If they're doing in training, he said, you've got to go out there on the pitch and do that. But yeah, I did feel we would maybe, and I watched Carvalho, he made some really good runs, and the ball wasn't played. So sometimes as a striker, if you make 2 or 3 runs, you stop making them then, because the ball's not coming. But I watched him, he made some 2 or 3 really good runs, but the ball didn't come.
Yeah, from out to in, obviously coming in from wide. And we know he will play with a number 9, he said that. But I think what he's done in the first game, he's played the senior players. You know, you mentioned a couple of the players there, Blair, who could be a striker, but I don't think he would have played them just to play a number 9. I think he wanted to play his strongest team and come and change. But that's not going to be a reflection of maybe even tonight or moving forward in the season. We're definitely going to have a number 9.
I think this is what it's all about in training. They'll try different ways.
Yeah.
So it comes the Ipswich wins, that be the first one, but he might play. Say might play different again in the next game, but. And they go, this is what we want to do. We're going to do this way. And against the opposition, he might change against certain opposition as well.
We're at the Lincoln Financial Field. It will be full as they take on Arsenal in a couple of days' time. This is the second day of recovery now. Liverpool having made that very short flight, 45 minutes or thereabouts, from Pittsburgh. And they're on, of course, now to Philadelphia as they take that step up in class against Arsenal, who took on Manchester United, beat them in the game but lost on penalties. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. You're listening to John Barnes and Ian Rush as we watch this training session that around 1,000 Liverpool fans have been allowed in to watch as well. The coaches obviously will have spent an awful lot of time with analysis from the other night. What will they be kind of picking up on most, do you think, from that game that they will want to see improved against Arsenal?
I think they're looking on individual mistakes, individual decisions when they passed are in the right position, because of course from a tactical point of view, as we said, it's a completely different thing. Rushy talked about the box that they played without a centre forward, so you know they're going to analyse that generally, but I think they're looking at the individuals to say, did they let somebody run off them, you know, did they pass at the right time, is there a body angle, so they'll be looking at the individual performances in and out of possession. And of course that's where, when it comes to the computers, you can't hide, because they can show you in a bad position, and nowadays we could get away with it because the coach will say you were in the wrong position. You say, no, I wasn't, prove it. He can't prove it. Whereas now the details of the individual performance is what they're going to be looking at.
And they love that now, players, don't they? The clips, they become accustomed to studying their own game themselves.
Well, that's what they do. They want to go to the analyst and they go say, what did I do? Did I do this and do that? And this generation. That's what it's all about. And say there's no hiding place no more.
Yeah.
Players just going through what we call the pre-activation now. You mentioned
warm up.
Yeah, warm up. Yeah. You mentioned Carvalho before. He was probably the one that we noticed from being to the pitch side that he was communicating with most. He's come back from a loan, obviously playing a completely different way for Hull City. That's a new load of information now with a new manager as well.
That's where nothing has changed. What has changed is when you're playing wide and you're close to the coach, you just get it non-stop. I remember when, I just couldn't wait for the second half to be on the other side, because Ronald Moran just used to shout to the wide player on the left back. So as much as he was communicating to him most, it's because he's the closest. That's probably why he's making these inward runs to get away from him, because as a wide player, the coaches are always talking to, and the fullbacks. Yeah, but he looks as if he's had a good loan spell every time he's been away, and the club love him, which is why they keep, because he's got this potential. Now, if the football is going to suit him, and maybe with Jurgen because of his physicality and the way that he plays, rather than being a more direct runner without the ball, maybe this is going to suit him on a slot.
It's going to be a big decision, I think, this season for not just him, but 4 or 5. Say, do we need to go out on loan for another season, or no? He's ready now, and that's all comes from the training and the pre-season games. Come after for the Ipswich game, I think some may go out on loan, to get more experience, and say no, he's ready now. He may not be ready for the first 11, but he's in the squad as well, and he can come on and make a difference. And that's what the manager has to decide.
But also, you see, because of course a lot of them here, there's still lots of big players to come back. So if you add another 6 or 7 players to this, there are obviously going to be some young players who will drop out. They'll then decide whether they're going to, because as much as they're here now, they think I'm in the first team squad, I've got a chance. Once the 6 or 7 players come back, they will then be further down the pecking order. They may have to go out on loan.
Yeah, and when you've been on loan for a season, you don't want to come back and sit on the bench, do you? You have to make the decision and say, listen, I want to be playing week in, week out. If you're happy sitting on the bench, that's not a good sign.
No.
It must be difficult also, and it's a two-way thing, isn't it? Or, with your agent, the club, the coach, the player, coming back from a really successful championship loan. It must be difficult then to go and sit on the bench or not be involved.
It's difficult, and the most difficult thing for a lot of these very, very, very good young players who probably when we played, because we had a squad of maybe 14 or 15, so you can have young players in that. You've got talking about having 16, 17 internationals. So you know what I mean? These young players have to get past 6 or 7 internationals who aren't even in the team. You know what I mean? So it's difficult for them. So that's why you have to be very, very good as a young player to be anywhere Liverpool's first team. And we've got some good ones.
Also, to remind you that if you want to watch Liverpool's remaining pre-season fixtures on LFC TV or LFC TV Go, then head over to video.liverpoolfc.com for all the details on that. An exciting sight, just before we sum up with you two, Ian Rush and John Barnes, is the sight of Diogo Jota, who's back, and this probably does give you a decent idea as to how good a condition players come back in, having had 3 weeks off, that he looks almost ready to go, doesn't he? You'd be surprised not to see him play some kind of part in the latter stages against Arsenal.
Absolutely, and if you want somebody who can play down the middle as much as he does play wide, he could be one. He was away with the Euro, so therefore maybe that's why he didn't play and he's not as involved as the other players. But it's good to see him because, when you talk about playing, the thing about it, we kind of the front three, anyone can play anywhere along the front three. We haven't got a definitive Bobby Firmino now, who he's going to play in that role. Cody Gakpo prefers it on the left, so that is a role that we really have to maybe chop and change with a few other players.
Yeah, I think he's most probably come back fit in most of them really, because he's just there. It's very important as a player you get at least 2 weeks off, because if you go straight to another season, it's okay till Christmas, then you get tired. Yeah. So that's what again you've got to get into perspective what we're actually doing, and I think he'll be fit, he'll know what to do, and it's great to see another striker back.
We spoke so many times about pre-season and its importance to keep players healthy rather than fit, because they are. But he's one of those players, isn't he, Ian, that you look at Diogo Jota, if you can keep him in a great condition all season, there are very few like him in the Premier League. Yeah,
he's most probably the most natural finisher at the club. No, he also, like I keep saying, he reminds me of Kevin Keegan. For someone small man, he's very, very good in the air. And he's got a football brain. And he's a natural finisher, so it's just hope that we see him keeps himself fit.
And he's got a great attitude. Because there are times when he hasn't played, but he's come on and he's come on motivated, fully focused, does well if you come on for 5-10 minutes. And that's the best thing about this Liverpool squad. And as I said, that's where the harmony, the togetherness, the team bonding is, whereby players who are international players who feel they should be playing more regularly when they're called upon to perform.
Okay. squad out here, the B squad.
I'm going to head down in that direction because they're going to help me. Oh, I need to sign that card too. Sign card we have it not exactly upstairs.
did so. It's just it's a little expensive. So I pay Canadian, so I have to have the exchange rate. So it's, they do. It's 135. That is the game, but
We're at the Lincoln Financial Field here as a nice little insight for you as Liverpool's US pre-season tour really kicks into gear now. They've moved from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia. It's a real sporting city. This wonderful stadium is one that will be used in the 2026 World Cup. And they're hoping it's going to be close to full when Liverpool take on Arsenal in a few days' time. But we've been watching Patton play and Also at the other end of the pitch, the left-hand side where we are at the moment, is a new Liverpool build-out from the back. Johnny Heitinga, the former Everton coach, involved in that. And also Aaron Briggs, the former Manchester City coach, who will take on a pretty front-foot role here now with Liverpool. And two very fascinated watchers. Former Liverpool striker Tash Dowie and former Liverpool midfielder Gary McAllister as well. Gary, what you've seen so far, what have you made of it?
Well, the first thing, Pete, is that the stadium is wonderful, but the actual pitch, looking at it and being on it there just prior to the lads starting the training, it plays more like a Premier League pitch. It's cut a little bit shorter than the pitch the other night against Real Betis. So the pitch will play more like a Premier League. It's a faster pitch, so you can see the balls skipping across the grass a lot quicker. So that will suit the players. And it's been nice and buoyant. It's been nice and short and sharp. You know, not too tactical. It's just little combinations at the corner of the box and little give and goes. And as you say, at the other end here, you know, a very distinctive change here. Maybe more passes in the build-up. You know, building through a number 6, so to speak, the old-fashioned sitting midfielder. So it's been interesting, but two different types of training at either side.
Very clear, subtle differences from time to time. You watch Liverpool train quite a lot, Tash. What are you noticing from this new look Liverpool?
Yeah, so straight away I'm looking at the centre forwards, being striker myself, and you know, it's the intensity. Obviously, we knew that under Klopp, but it definitely, like Gary said, more combinations. You know, probably under Klopp it's a lot more get Mo in behind, you know, a bit more direct. But here you can see I think there's been 5 or 6 different patterns with a cross and finish. I think as a striker as well, that's all you want, is to get finishes on goal, get your confidence up, show the manager what you like. You've got Kumas and the other young lad that came on the other day, showing him what he's about. Obviously, they haven't got their number 9s there, you know, your Nunez's and Pete Gakpo's here. So this is a chance for them to obviously show the manager, look, I can score a goal, I'm prolific. And, you know, it's been great to watch. Everyone looks fit as well, looks in good condition in this hot heat.
Yeah, 32 degrees is how it was advertised. It feels close to 40 at the moment as well.
My factor on, Pete. It's definitely on.
John Barnes was saying before that he thinks it will shape out to something less rock and roll than what Liverpool fans have been used to.
Yeah.
Would you go along with that?
I would say that. You know, first impressions, it'll be the build-up. There was very much even when Batiste really pressed on Liverpool the other night, there was still that belief to try and build through the number 6 and build through the thirds of the pitch. But that doesn't go to say, you know, when Virgil comes back, who's very capable of hitting a 60-70 yard pass, if we can get the opponents defending on the halfway line, then that makes you think about Nunez, Diaz, and Mo getting in behind. So, you know, this playing out from the back, there's method there and there's a purpose. The purpose is to try and drag the opponent towards you so you can get behind them. So I think that's what you can see so far in the game that we watched the other night, and obviously the training what we're watching now.
Johnny Heitinga spending an awful lot of time with the centre-backs as well. Former Everton man, played in the Premier League for a number of years. He's man-marking Nat Phillips and Jarell Kwanzaa as well, and probably trying to almost profess a completely different way of playing now. They're going to be on the ball a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think, look, when you look at these players, I think they want to. You know, as a football player, you want to get touches on the ball, you want to be involved. And I think also for a lot of these players that have been under Klopp for a long time, sometimes it's nice to have a freshen up, you know, a new start. So I think players will be excited by this. Players want to learn. And also, it gives you plan A's, plan B's. We know that this team and these players can be direct, can play, obviously, how they did under Jurgen for 8 years. But now, it's given them another different playing style, which I think then will only be a positive thing for the team.
The other thing on that, Tash, Pete, is that players during games, you know, when you're under scrutiny and under pressure, players have then got to make their own decisions. Is it on to play? Are we trying to play through a press that's maybe too strong? And sometimes the better pass is to maybe go a little bit longer. So it's a bit, you know, these are things you can train and work at, but once the game starts, the players have got to make the right decision and their own decision.
3 games to go for you. If you haven't subscribed so far, you might want to get online at video.liverpoolfc.com for details as to how you can subscribe to see Liverpool take on Arsenal, take on Manchester United. That also includes that package, of course, the Sevilla game that takes place at Anfield as well. The final touches by then, you would imagine, to Liverpool's brand new season. He's very, very hands-on. It was something we talked about before. How normal is this now in the Premier League for a manager to be as involved in the sessions as this?
I think the managers we're seeing more often that they like to be on the grass. You know, he's obviously got competent coaches there who are leading the coaching sessions. But what we've seen, you know, just in that little big crossing and finishing, little combinations there, you know, the manager was coming in and just going over little technical bits with individuals. You know, just little movements where to move the body and make sort of little shapes to disguise the pass. So that I think that's what you'll see. He's just picking out players and going and giving them little bits of technical advice.
Harvey Blair is just jogging away from the action at the moment. We were talking about strikers with Ian Rush and John Barnes before, Tash, and in that position where there isn't a natural striker here, Diogo Jota, we imagine, will play some kind of role in that game in a couple of days' time. But if you were a youngster, this is the opportunity, isn't it, to kick this door open and say, I'd love to start against Arsenal in front of 60-odd thousand.
Absolutely, and I think Harvey Blair had a massive impact the other night. I think first half, you could see we missed having that number 9. You know, we didn't create enough at all. And when he came on, he was energetic. I think his first action, he closed down the keeper, nearly created something, in my opinion, should have had a penalty. You know, you look at his physique, he's got everything. Reminds me a little bit like Jayden Danns, but probably a bit more dynamic and athletic. But yeah, absolutely, I'm really excited to see him play. And you're spot on. I think talking as well about Arne Slot and how involved he is right now, coming into a new club, he's going to be, and as obviously time goes on, you know, he'll have his different coaching staff that get involved in different things. But I know for a fact these players want to be impressing him. You know, no one else. You know, they want him to be involved. They want to be able to talk to him, ask him the questions, and it's great to see. It really is.
Yeah, I thought it was impressive when he came on the other night, and dare I say it, he was a wee bit old school in his play. I thought he led the line. You know, it was like an old school centre forward. He was coming and linking. When balls went in from a longer distance, he was capable of getting it down in his chest and holding off defenders. I thought he protected the ball really well, and I thought he mixed his game up. He was looking to go behind. He was coming short. So. Bit of an all-rounder.
But truthfully, we don't have that, do we? If you think of our number 9s, you know, the likes of maybe, yes, okay, Jayden Danns, who's a young kid, but your Nunes, they like to get in behind. Diaz, Mo likes to get in behind. You know, even the likes of Gakpo, he's not a proper old-school centre forward. I almost sometimes think that fashionable number 9 has gone out of fashion, but I think this young kid, Blair, looks like you said, Gary, looks like he's got the whole package.
Yeah, he was a bit of a focal point for some of the decent play when he come on. I thought he just linked the game well. And it's always, as a midfielder, it's to have somebody in that central position who you know is just round the corner and the ability to just hit the centre forward and then go play off him. I think, you know, right across the pitch, especially across the middle of the park, you need a centre forward.
He's usually a right-sided player as well, but he's being asked to do a job, and you find a lot of this in pre-season. Yeah. It's almost what represents the best opportunity against one of these kids in the team.
But the thing is, I think the fact is that just being a number 9 is not going to stand up today. I think you've got to be able to play right across the front, so it's like a front 3. So they're sort of called wide strikers now, aren't they? It's like he's not a right winger. He's like a wide forward.
That's why I retired. Could only play 9.
You might also notice from this as well that Curtis Jones is not part of the session. I don't think any of expected him to be, and we're told it's more of a precaution that, so nothing to be overly worried about where Curtis is concerned. But you know, where Liverpool are concerned, they will have to pull the reins back on quite a few players. Tash, Diogo Jota will be one of them. He'll be desperate to play in a couple of days' time. Trey Ione, you'll notice, not out here either, just purely because he's so young. They have to protect him and not put him in in the sessions as much.
Double session today as well, so yeah, that's why.
Listening as well to Arne Slot's press conferences, I think that's great because he really is thinking about the player in person. A lot of times coaches think about, getting results early, you know, wanting to get the players onto the pitch, play minutes, but you can tell, you know, he's been really sensible. He wants these players to be firing come the start of the season, so I think that's really important.
Trey Ione as a player, as a former midfielder, Gary, you'd have been fascinated by the other night, though.
I haven't seen a great deal, and that's the first sort of time I've seen him live. I tell you, he was really impressive. I'm thinking back to when I was 17. I did make my debut young, but I was nowhere near the level of these guys. You know, to see a 17-year-old boy just go in and play with Liverpool's first team in a high-profile game, it was fantastic.
Well, I need to tell you, because obviously having worked at the academy a little bit last season, so Trey came from Leicester and everyone was talking about him. And when I was with the under-18s, I remember his first session when he arrived, and straight away, you know, he just saw things that the other players at the under-18s didn't see. He was making passes, he was creating things, and I was speaking to Mark Bridgewater and Jay Spearing, and they said he'll be moving up very quickly, and within a month he's already getting involved with the first team. So absolutely special player he really is.
You know, there's a buzz about a player when the captain is asking where's the academy pitch, where they go and see him play.
Go and watch him.
I thought that was fascinating when Soboslai was saying the other night post match he's even difficult to foul. He's that good.
He's that good. No, and the thing, he just looks comfortable in the environment, and all credit to the academy for giving that, you know, that confidence to just go and back himself. But the thing for me is, you know, it's like watching midfield players today, you know, and not saying it's better when I played it, because then people before me said it was better when they played. No, but what I really like seeing about this kid is the fact that his first look seems to be forward. It's very easy for midfielders just to own a pitch and play safe the entire time. But when you get a midfielder who actually receives and faces forward and plays forward, and he played and followed as well, so he was doing a lot of things that I like to see.
Fascinating insight for all of us here as Liverpool supporters, and we are going to just cut the sound from us for a moment so you can hear the conversations that are taking place and the coaching taking place as well as Liverpool reach the end of this training session. Tash Dowie and Gary McAllister, thank you for now.
Thank you.
We'll speak to them a little bit later.
Everybody was like, they was staring right at me. I was like, oh. Concentration! He was staring right at me. He was staring right at me. Go on, go on.